My name is Rori Spaeth. I'm 12 years old and I attend Makybe Rise Primary School in Western Australia. I'm honoured to be able to share my story with you today. My first 6 years of my education was not AVID, but instead a dark place, a roller coaster of fear, sadness and distress, and then finally, hope and joy. As a kid, I lived mostly in South Australia. I started school uneasily. My parents had a negative experience of schools, and it seems I partially did as well. Their attitude towards school was not so great, and neither was mine. I didn't have many friends and faced social exclusion and gossiping. Kids at my school were either stereotyped as popular or unpopular, and I, for one, was definitely unpopular. This label seemed to be true, as I ultimately seemed to have had no friends. I was fine with it though, as I had it normalised. But the truth is, every day felt lonely and isolated. No matter the time or effort I put in, my peers constantly pushed me away and talked about me behind my back. It took me a long time of trying and failing to fit in with the other kids, and so I eventually gave up. I just couldn't deal with the feeling of being judged or useless anymore. I'd seen my older sister go through similar, and the only thing that kept me going was knowing that one day I'd find some good friends, just like she did. But I still questioned and blamed myself for my loneliness. Maybe it was my fault that I had no friends. At that time, I struggled to regulate my emotions. Even now, it is still a challenge for me to work in groups, as that was just something I was never included in, nor fond of for all those years. As I look back and reflect on my experience, I think of the advice I could give to teachers so that they can make a difference in the life of a student just like me. I would have liked my teachers back then to know that I was capable of improving, to know that all they had to do was believe in me and get to know me. Teachers, never overlook the simple part of a student's schooling, including the social, which should essentially be embraced. All I wanted was for my Year 5 teachers to do that. Maybe then they would have seen what was holding me back and the possibilities that just waited there. This would have made Year 5 a more enjoyable experience. But I was, and still am, very fortunate to have had the first and by far the most important opportunity presented to me, the chance to move somewhere new. Somewhere that had more for me to explore, understand, and look forward to. This alone gave me the strongest sense of hope an 11-year-old girl could ask for. This also meant a whole new school, which gave me worry when starting, as I had no way of knowing if the students at Makybe were just like the ones from my old school. I was holding my breath that things would be different, but I dreaded that things would just remain the same. Of course, though, Makybe was already so much better and so much more extravagant. Just seeing the teachers was the first difference. I could tell things were changing for me. My teachers cared how I felt and what I wanted. They asked about my hopes and dreams early in, and my class and I frequently wrote SMART goals. We also learned strategies to reach what I had previously thought to have been unachievable. The classroom expectation was to work and learn and do all we could to reach our potential. The second difference would be learning how to collaborate with peers in and out of the classroom. This was new, but promising. In contrary to Year 5, where I felt like I didn't need to focus so much on friends because no one wanted to be my friend either. I now find being social is enjoyable, and I now look for the chance to make new friends. Even though it can be challenging, I have learned from the past and am willing to accept other people's ideas and give them a chance to accept mine. The third difference would be the work strategies and how much my teachers genuinely helped with my grades. I just want them to know how inspiring and supportive they are and how amazingly you've changed my perspective. Up until Year 6, I was convinced school was just a place of loneliness and limited learning. I remember the feeling of comfort in Makybe. I can distinctly remember how little my previous school cared about its students, and Makybe outshone it almost instantly. In contrary to my previous schools, Makybe had so many opportunities, appearing so much more frequently. I felt like I actually had a chance to embrace myself and leave the past behind me. The opportunities presented themselves to me like open windows, and for my part, I knew that I shouldn't shut them. One of these opportunities would have definitely been learning how to develop and use a scholarly and formal language. I love confidently expressing myself in all areas of my work and using my imagination to its fullest. This went hand in hand with another opportunity, my leadership role. I have also used my scholarly language to help present a workshop for teachers at a teacher conference. Not to mention this very moment, which is something to truly behold. It all works together. The school and AVID has helped me improve my confidence and work integrity. I continued from there to take on all and any opportunities that appeared for me. I gave everything a go while it was present. I hope to do the same with future schooling and careers. I am now a student leader and take my learning beyond its limits and make my life mission statement a reality through determination and perseverance. The mind is limitless, as many say, so I ought to feel it with passion, knowledge, workmanship, and honour. Then I'll use that mind to create the changes that I wish to see in the world and resolve and reduce problems that I faced, like bullying. Now, I've told you my past, present, and hopes for the future. But to the crux of the matter, allow me to inform you of what the school has taught me about seizing opportunities. An opportunity is a 1 in a million chance sometimes, and should never be taken for granted. All my previous teachers need to know about me was the issues that were holding me back from doing so. They needed to know that with some encouragement and hard work, the world could be my oyster. My current teachers have showed me that when I don't succeed, I will find where the glory of resilience truly lies. The key to success is knowing that I can get back up from mistakes, and how. Have a peace of mind that not all opportunities are destined for you. But in that peace of mind, still remember that life has a way of surprising itself more often than not, and that your opportunities will always be there. Not necessarily the same, not necessarily different, but there, nevertheless. Opportunities leave as quickly as they appear sometimes. So as I hear many say, don't leave any stone unturned. Live a life where your vocabulary consists of a vast amount of yes and fewer no's. To end off, I'd like to say that after I went through what I did, I now know how important school really is. If I could go back to my Year 5 teacher, I'd tell her that if she had taken the time, she would have been able to understand me and my needs to potentially have made Year 5 a better place. And if I could give my Year 5 self advice, it would be, believe that there is always something more you can do, even if you feel limited and that it's impossible, or you don't know how you could accomplish more, or recognise what you can do to get there. Since coming to Makybe, my teachers showed me that there was actually nothing stopping me from doing what I desired. I just need to seize the opportunities that are waiting for me with no doubts, knowing that there is nothing stopping me anymore. I'd just like to mention that I'm not only incredibly proud of myself, but I'm proud of the teachers, AVID, all of you guys, because without you, without you guys, there would be no change with how a student thinks or feels. You really do make the biggest difference out there. Thank you for listening to my speech. It's been a true privilege to stand here today.
Rori, how does that feel?
I feel amazing.
Rori, did you really write that speech?
I did.
So I shared that speech with someone recently and they said, she really didn't write that speech. And I said,
Yeah, I did.
she really did. Our students are amazing. Sometimes the people who put the limits on what they can achieve are inadvertently us. So thank you for reminding us that you are great, all of the students that you represent. I am excited to see where you go next. South Coast Baptist, you are really lucky that Rori is coming your way. And thank you for reminding us of why we do this work every day. So proud of you. Beth, Ben, I'm sorry, I just got your mum's name wrong, didn't I? Emma, Ben, and to your brother who's come here and looked after you as well, your twin brother, and I promised him I wouldn't call him up to speak. Thank you for making the trip and supporting Rori to have this opportunity. That means the world to us as well. Thank you. So Rori and her brother are going to be coming tomorrow into Strands. You'll get to speak to her and ask her some more questions. But on that note, it's probably time for you to go to dinner, get some sleep. Tomorrow's a big day. Site teams start as well. So you've got Strand in the morning, then site team in the afternoon. There are tissues for those who need them, like me. And have a safe trip. There are buses going back to Footscray, buses going back to the CBD, or you are welcome to stay and have dinner and then make your own way home. Thank you for being here.